Hey guys, we're here on a beautiful day for some baseball. I'm here with Coach Walker. Coach Walker, how are you feeling about the last home game before we travel to Gulf Shores, Alabama and played a tournament there?
Yeah, I mean, we're playing a good club, and they were really good last night. We're fortunate to win, and so it'll be a good test for us. That's the whole point in playing so many games in such a short period of time, is to get a bunch of guys some work, and we're going to get to throw a bunch of arms that haven't gotten to throw yet.
So you would say pitching is one of the keys to play a more competitive game today?
Absolutely, yeah. You want to extend your depth, and so Riley's on the mound, which he's a senior, and give him a shake at it. And then we got some other guys that haven't thrown in relief yet that we're going to bring in. So excited to see them perform today.
Thank you so much. Go War Eagles. Thank you.
Yeah, when you get hit.
Woohoo!
I got one job, find a place to eat at night.
I think I can handle that one. I think you could handle that one.
Last year we were in Tampa.
Go ahead and send us to a commercial. Just tell them, thank you for joining us, and send us to a commercial.
Hey, we're here with War Eagle Baseball, and we're getting ready here in a few minutes to get going, and we're going to be back here in a minute and take a look at our fine sponsors.
Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with those who serve our communities, from the ones caring for us every day to those shaping our tomorrows, the ones dreaming big dreams, celebrating their unique cultures, and discovering the power of financial freedom. Arvest believes that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe. Arvest Bank believes in the power of serving others. That's why we're committed to working with those who serve our communities, from the ones caring for us every day to those shaping our tomorrows, the ones dreaming big dreams, celebrating their unique cultures, and discovering the power of financial freedom. Arvest believes that all communities deserve a financial partner who cares. Arvest Bank, we believe.
to Heritage Baseball. Beautiful day here at, as we call it, Matt Murray Stadium with
At Brian Walker Field.
Brian Walker Field. And we're here for Game 2 against Lafayette High School out of Wildwood, Missouri. Some of you might remember a pretty good baseball player that played at Wildwood years ago named Ryan Howard, and kind of a historic baseball program. And last year's Missouri runner-up, I would assume, at the big school division. So a good test here for the War Eagles. And James, give us a little rundown of what happened yesterday.
Oh, there was some. First off, welcome back.
Yeah,
Missed you the last couple of days. It was a great game. Pitching duel on both sides. It came down to some, who didn't make the base running mistakes. 1-0 win for Heritage off a suicide squeeze put down by Easton Royal that scored Josh Hines for the winning run. Lafayette had a couple chances, about 3 chances on suicide squeezes, and just couldn't execute and score a run.
There you go, and 1-0, and that's enough to win. And as we get started here, the War Eagles on a roll. Big win on Thursday against Van Buren, run rule. Is that right, James?
Yep, run rule against them.
And Cade Miller.
Give me a thumbs up if you can hear
Yeah,
me.
Cade Miller came out. He made his season debut. He'd been dealing with a little bit of injuries and came out and pitched really well. Wyatt Easley also came back, another senior that had tweaked his ankle right before the season and hit the DH spot and actually did really well.
And with that, we'll look at Lafayette's lineup here. They're going to start in the leadoff position, center fielder Michael Callahan, batting second, and in right field, Chase Ryder, or Raider, R-O-E-D-E-R. And then number 7 is going to DH for them, T.J. Bender. And at second base, in the cleanup role, C.J. Campbell. 28, Josh
I'm trying to figure out why I can't
Nosowicz.
see it again.
Nosowicz is going to play first base. Sean Leonard is going to be their third baseman. Zach Tolman in left field, and Will Dunbar at shortstop, and Wyatt Wathan is catching. And James will take us through the War Eagles starting lineup.
All right. Leading off for the War Eagles is Cooper Mann. He'll be in center field. Batting second, number 1, Joe Walker. He'll be at second base.
I'm watching the wrong
Batting
one.
third in left field will be number 28, Josh Hines. Batting fourth in the cleanup spot is number 27, JoJo Martinez. He'll be at first. Batting fifth and behind the dish for the War Eagles will be number 20, Boston Graber. Batting sixth, playing shortstop, number 6, Easton Royal. Batting seventh, number 5, at third base, Jacob Ham.
Jacob Ham.
Batting eighth, DH, number 10, Wyatt Easley.
Coach Olson, give
Batting
me a thumbs
ninth.
up if you can hear me.
I believe he's number 9 in right field, Jacob Lees. And on the bump for the War Eagles will be number 34, Riley Templin.
We got a little connection with him, don't we, James?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit of a connection there with the.
About 17 years.
There you go. Well, the managers are going to meet, and that's another thing I never understood about baseball. They don't call me the manager in the the high school basketball game, but the managers are meeting at home plate. That's Brian Walker and the coach from Lafayette Lafayette. However we're going to say that.
Yeah.
And then the ground rules.
Yeah, just wanting to point out if there's any stick spots or where a ball could sneak through, just give them a heads up of how this field plays.
James, I coached high school baseball for 2 seasons at a little school in Shirley, and we played at a place at Gers Prairie West Side without a fence. And the ground rule discussion was about, I would say, 10 minutes long.
You got to work if it goes down here.
And then if it rolls over the road, if it goes to right field, it's all you can get. But here we go. We're going to start, and we're going to pause here for a second, and we're going to sing the national anthem, and we'll have baseball here in a few seconds. And we're back, ready for baseball. James, you look like you got a little few statistics over there that you're scratching out there. So who's our leading hitter for the War Eagles?
Well, we actually got two. Josh Hines and White Easley, batting .500. But our leadoff man, Cooper Mann's coming in hitting about a .478. Joe Walker's hitting a .160. JoJo Martinez hitting .263. Boston Graber's hitting .429. Easton Royals at .353. Jacob Ham's at .267, and Jacob Lees is at .385. And that some of those encompass when they're hitting in varsity and JV, or it's their overall season. It's a lot of games.
Yeah, a lot of games. So they're getting a lot of at bats, and that's always critical for baseball, especially early in the season, to see a lot of pitches. So going forward here, what can we expect out of this guy in the mound? I think you might have some insight for us.
I got a little bit. He's going to bring a fastball, a changeup, a slider. Definitely going to live down in the bottom of the zone the best he can.
Right.
And he is a pitch-to-contact pitcher. So his defense is going to get some work. He's going to strike some people out. But, good thing about Riley out there is him and Coach Wynn have a really strong connection with each other. They've been working with each other for about 7 years now. So he's been Riley's pitching coach since he was about 10 years old.
Outstanding. So a lot of cohesiveness there and a lot of connection. So we're going to start here with the first pitch, and Riley Templin's going to take the mound, left-hander, and we're ready and set for that first pitch. The umpire just said play ball. We've already had a warning on the Lafayette dugout. And we need a guy in the third base box, and here he comes. So I guess we're going to get started here. Beautiful day. If you're listening to us, you're making a massive mistake. You can still get here and see most of the game. It's just an absolutely beautiful day. And Riley is going to start with a strike on the outside part. And once again, strikes are cool, as we were talking about before. Callahan sends one deep to Cooper Mann. He's tracking it to the fence, and he's going to come up with it. And a deep fly ball and a beautiful deep part of Yosemite.
And as always, if we're sitting out here looking at Old Glory out there, I don't ever think we have an inward coming wind very much. And this time of year, it's always blowing out. So if you get it up there, it's going to go.
Yes, and it seems like just the southwesterly wind here where the park's situated here on 71 Business is going to send that thing up into jet stream. Chase Rader is going to step in, and he's going to take a strike. Riley again ahead in the count and working quickly. And that's going to be flied back. Walker's going to camp underneath it for the second out. Can of corn, as we talked about a couple days ago.
Yeah.
So a couple quick outs here.
I'm just glad he's keeping me true to my word. Come out, 4 pitches, 4 strikes.
You're a prophet. But, how many years have you coached your son, Riley?
I first started coaching him when he was 5.
So there you go. You got a pretty good idea of the crafty left-hander that he is. TJ Bender steps in, DH, and he's going to swing at the first pitch. And that's Jacob Ham across the diamond. He's going to overthrow it. And there goes Bender to second base as the ball gets away up the right field line.
It was a good stop by Jacob. I think he just kind of rushed the throw just a little bit.
I think the ball took him away from first base. So, and therefore, he was trying to kind of throw off balance. But Bender's going to be on an error, and he's going to take second on the overthrow. So that's going to put a runner on second base with 2 outs. C.J. Campbell, second baseman in a cleanup role here for Lafayette, steps in. And that's looked like a fastball on the inside part that was jerked foul for strike 1.
Yeah, he's able to get his hands inside and just yank it foul.
A good location there to get a strike on that first pitch. C.J. Campbell here looks the part here as a cleanup hitter and a second baseman. Templin with the set and the pitch. And that's going to be driven into right field, and Bender will score on a single by C.J. Campbell. So the error is going to come back and haunt the War Eagles as they give up their first run. Still here with 2 outs. C.J. Campbell singles. And there's your first run of the ball game. Nothing really solid hit yet.
No.
You know, just an error. You know, the leadoff hitter drove one to center field. But not a lot of really solid contact. But a good job there just going with that pitch and getting a base hit for Campbell. And there's a ground ball right back to Templin with the underhand throw to JoJo Martinez, and that's going to end the inning. So, as we recap, a couple of quick outs, an error, and a base hit, and Lafayette's going to leave the top of the first with a 1-run lead. And with that, we'll go to break. Back here in the bottom of the first, the War Eagles are going to be down a run starting it, and that on the mound is a young man named, we don't know, Martin, number 24. I guess there was a blue plate special for left-handers here.
I guess.
The 2 guys that were hitting infield were batting left-handed for Lafayette. There's a left-handed pitch for him yesterday, correct?
Yep.
Riley Templin steps up there from the left side, and now here we go with Martin, a left-handed pitcher for Lafayette. And Cooper Mann's going to step in here, center fielder. He's going to lead off. Martin with the set and the pitch. And looks like a left-handed breaking ball is going to be started off for a strike, and Cooper's quickly down 1-0-1. Fastball up, and strike 2, quickly ahead, 0-2. Fastball kind of jumped right there a little bit.
It did. Jumped out of the hand and got in, cut across the plate and get inside.
He wastes one up and away, just a bit outside.
All the games I've watched of the War Eagles this year, you can't just say, hey, we got one and we got it.
Yeah.
They don't fight to the end.
Ball outside. It's always great at baseball games when the crowd that's sitting on the side of the plate is upset about a strike call.
Yeah.
Because where we were sitting, ball's outside.
Yeah, it's clearly on the left-handed line.
I was almost in the left-handed batter box. But it looked good from the first base side, but it's going to be 2-2. And that ball is way outside, and the count's full, and Cooper doing a great job at a leadoff hitter, seeing a lot of pitches.
Yeah, we talked about it a couple games ago. That's the goal. Run up the pitch count and get into the bullpen.
No doubt. Cooper's going to foul that one down the right field side. Headed toward the volleyball concession stand.
Yeah, they're here early. And that's one great thing about around here is, the kids work the concession stands. They're working the broadcast. Jerry and I talked about that the last couple days. And Cooper draws the walk there.
So good at bat by Cooper. And just to kind of piggyback what you're saying, at Heritage, all of the teams all team together that handle all the concession stands all year. So, and it's good because I feel like the kids here get to support each other a little bit, and they get a bit different experience. So Heritage Volleyball and their new coach, Coach Felker, is here today working the concession stand.
And stepping in now for Heritage's number 1, Joe Walker.
Martin is set. And Walker is going to offer and take strike one, like he was trying to bunt one down the third base line there.
Yeah, Cooper did his job. Lead off man. You always got to find a way on to get everything rolling.
Right.
So it looks like Joe's just trying to push him over and get him in scoring position.
Being married to a beautiful woman for 31 years who is an unbelievably large Cardinal fan.
Okay.
And she is as big a Cardinal fan as you can possibly imagine. And you get a lot of baseball history, as if you're a Cardinal fan, because they've been so historic. But there was a manager way back named Connie Mack, and he used to talk about putting picket fences on the scoreboard. Play for a run every inning. So, hopefully here Heritage can move this one, over, get them over and get them in kind of here and tie the score up.
Martin's keeping him close and a couple pickoff attempts over to first base. The movie showing isn't his best move yet. This is kind of, hey, we just want to keep you back over there and let you know I'm noticing you.
That's right. 1-1 to count on Walker. And there goes man, and the ball is outside, and Cooper's going to be in there easily. Ball pops away, but Coop's going to have a first stolen base of the ball game. So Walker on a stolen base and nobody out and a runner in scoring position.
Joe gets up in the count, 2-1. Take away that double play option.
Yeah, and that's, and again, base runners are so critical because it just puts a lot of pressure on the pitcher. 2-1 to count. And Walker again offers and pulls back. That's going to be ball 3. So 3-1 here, probably pretty selective. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I mean, make sure it's over the plate, something you can put into play.
Preferably something down the right side, huh?
Yeah, I mean, with Cooper, he came out, got up 0-2, and Cooper worked it to a walk, and now we're down 3-1. Little control issues.
And Joe Walker is going to get the bunt down. There's going to be no play at third, but he'll complete the sacrifice as Martin throws to Campbell, covering the base for the first out. But that's going to put Cooper man on third with 1 out. Good job, Joe Walker.
Yeah, definitely pushed it the right way, and Cooper took off in complete faith that he was going to put it down, and didn't even have a chance to get him at third.
Yeah, and it's a good job.
Now stepping up is 28 Josh Hines.
So something out of the infield here.
Yeah,
he's going to take the first one and foul it back.
Looks like Lafayette's not taking any chances here with 1 out. They got their infield in, so Josh, who's got some good power.
Right, an indicator of a 1-0 game yesterday.
Yeah, but Josh has got, when he hits the ball, he can hit it hard.
Yeah.
You got to be thinking quick and, kind of opens up actually makes it a little bit harder on the defense.
Yes, and he's going to get hit by the pitch, and that's going to put a runner on first base. So Hines on his way to first with a hit batsman. And runners on first and third with 1 out. Now you're going to see the infield, at least the middle infield, play back in double play depth.
Yeah, and your corners will still probably come in.
Yep. Catcher's going to call timeout here. We're going to discuss how we're going to handle this if we try to steal second. And our cleanup hitter, JoJo Martinez, will step in. It's always an interesting piece. I feel like you don't have to play as close in when you're playing on field turf. What do you think, James?
You don't have to because it's going to move a little bit faster unless you just barely hit it. But it's going to move a lot faster than it does in natural.
Yeah, and I think they were in right on the edge of the green, and I think that's a pretty aggressive move here in the bottom of the first. JoJo's going to take the first pitch inside for ball 1. That's Josh Hines at first, and our leadoff hitter, Cooper Mann, at third. Ball is outside for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. Again, 1 out with runners on first and third. Hey, just kind of want to point out Lindsay Nairmore in the stands. That's Mrs. Nairmore, Miss Nairmore, I guess, the Spanish teacher at Heritage. And if you ever go to a sporting event, you're going to see her. I think she leads the league in most sporting events attended, and here she is the first Saturday of spring break. JoJo is going to give one a ride to left field. That's way back off the wall. The ball bounces away. Cooper Mann is going to score. Josh Hines is going to score. And JoJo Martinez is going to walk into second base with a stand-up double, and that's going to give the War Eagles a 2-1 lead here in the bottom of the first inning with 1 out.
Yeah, I mean, that shows right there. I was just looking it up while we were sitting here looking. Right before this at bat, JoJo was hitting 222 with runners in scoring position. So he's definitely going to up that and did his job. And that's the cleanoff. That's their 4-hole.
He got it, what looked to be a breaking ball on the inside part, and he just got his hands out in front of it, like you were talking about before, James, and just gave it a ride off the base of the wall there at about 360. And the War Eagles are going to take a 2-1 lead.
And now stepping up is number 20, Boston Graber, the catcher for the War Eagles. It looks like both teams are coming out swinging today.
So Boston Graber here is going to step in after JoJo Martinez. A little change in my scorecard. Yep. Graber fouls that one back.
Good off one.
We'll get it as we go. You always, when you fill out your car, even like the basketball coach, you're filling out your scorebook, you're always, God, I hope I don't miss one early because then I got to erase half the team to get it right. So
we'll get it there.
Graber, the batter, 1-1 to count with 1 out, and that pitch is high, a fastball up. And that's going to make the count 2-1. Again, the War Eagle hitter is doing a good job getting ahead in the count. And Martin for Lafayette here has thrown a lot of pitches early here in this first inning. And another fastball up, 3-1 the count.
We're talking about, Martin throwing a lot of pitches and all that. I know with Coach Wynn, with all his pitchers, he works with them 18 pitches or less an inning.
Okay.
And he wants 50+% or about 60% strikes. It keeps your pitch count down. If you can stay underneath that 18 an inning,
right,
it keeps you in the game longer.
Yeah. And that's going to be a fastball for a strike. So that's going to make the count full here with 1 out. JoJo Martinez at second base. And we've done more than put a picket fence up there. We've got a crooked number up there in the bottom of the first.
Crooked numbers are better than picket fences.
They are. We like them a lot better. And ball 4 to Graber, and that's going to put him at first base. That's the second walk of the inning by Martin. So Martin having some struggles here with 2 walks. He's hit a batter, and he's given up a double. And those are all recipes
for disaster.
For disaster as a pitcher.
And it looks like we're going to have possibly, looks like Thatch Dover, number 2, might be coming in to pitch run for Graber. And once the mound visit's over, we'll have number 6, Easton Royal, our shortstop, and the guy that laid down the suicide squeeze yesterday for the winning run, coming into the plate.
There's some kids that you just want to say, he's a baseball player. And if you spend any time watching Easton Royal play, that's what you say. He's just a baseball player. He's a shortstop, probably play second base, bunt, get hit by pitches. I mean, he's just a baseball player.
Yeah, and he made a heck of a play at short yesterday. The tying run was at third. Can't remember who was behind him, but Coach Walker moved the infield in. They hit hard ground ball to his glove side, slid, spun around, came up and threw the kid out at home.
Yeah, he's just a baseball guy. So Easton Royal steps in, 1 out, runners on first and second. Martin with the pitch, and that's going to be up and away for another ball.
Looks like, just looking over there, we already got some action in the Lafayette bullpen with a righty up over there.
Yeah, and just a control problem here early in March, not uncommon in high school baseball.
You know, this is Lafayette's second game of their season, so they're just getting it out, you know, figuring it out as they're going.
Breaking ball in for a strike.
Where Heritage has played like 7-8 games now.
It's what you do. It's good scheduling. I mean, it is. If you're a team that's further south, you want those teams from up in the Midwest to come and play you because they don't get outside as much, and it just gives you an advantage early. And ball 2 to Royal. The strike zone is not really big today.
No. You know,
you use the word getting squeezed a little bit. I mean, there's some things there that are.
JB, who's behind home plate tonight, or today, I keep saying tonight because that's when we're used to playing. Yeah. He does a pretty decent job.
He's a consistent guy. Yeah. It is what it is, and you just adjust. So 2-2 the count. 2 strikes on Easton Royal here. Shortstop here for Heritage. But if you're pitching, you're not going to get a lot nibbling, so you're going to have to put all of the ball across the plate, I think, to get a strike. And there's going to be a base hit up the middle by Royal, and Coach Walker is going to put the brakes on Joe Martinez. That's going to load the bases. That's the second hit of today, or of this first inning. And Royal's on first with a signal.
Yeah. Now we got number 5, Jacob Hams, coming up here. So you're talking about, you know, teams from the Midwest coming down here. Does it kind of help? Do you think it helps Heritage a little bit more? Because we have JB quite often. So they kind of know his zone and what he'll call a little bit better.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's a little it's what you do when you're playing on the road. That's just some of the advantages of playing at home. So Thatch Dover at second. Royal on first after his single. Jojo Martinez with the big hit of the inning, a double, is standing at third base. Jacob Ham steps in and takes the first pitch for a ball.
If Jacob can find a way to get this ball to the outfield somewhere with Thatch's speed at second, we might get 2 runs out of 1 hit.
Yeah, Thatch has got some good speed, and Royal as well at first. There's going to be a line out to Dunbar at shortstop. They're going to try and double off Thatch Dover, but he's back, but they're going to catch Royal off the base at first, and that's going to be a double play that ends the inning. And nice play by Lafayette. And with that, the War Eagles are going to take a 2-1 lead into the top of the second, and with that, we'll take a break. Well, we're back here at the top of the second inning. Sean Leonard, third baseman for Lafayette, is going to step in. Templin, who got through the inning with giving 1 run, and the first pitch is sent out to right field. And Lease is going to make the catch for the first out. So 1 pitch, 1 out. Pitch to contact is what a little birdie said before the game, and that's exactly what's happening.
Yeah. So you were just asking, Martin for Lafayette in the bottom of that first through 30 pitches.
30 pitches.
With 13 of them being strikes.
Yeah.
And, we're talking about, 18 or less. That's.
Yeah. Zach Tobin steps in, left fielder for Lafayette. If you go to a spring training major league game, when a pitcher hits 30, he comes out of the game in that inning. And you might see him return the next inning, which is weird. It's a kind of a weird spring training where it's like, I just saw a guy who threw 30 pitches. They took him out. Now he's in the top of the second. And so that 30 pitches, that's a lot for an inning. Templin's going to miss outside as Tobin squares the bunt, and the count is 2-1 here on the left fielder. Wildwood, Lafayette kind of sporting those pinstripes.
Templin just misses down.
Just missed. As Bob Euchre would say, just a bit outside, tried the corner and missed. And there's a fastball in for strike 2, so he's going to move the count to full with 1 out. And strikes are cool, and we need one right here. And there's a base hit between the second and first baseman. He just went with the pitch.
Yeah.
They're a nice job, why do they say it? A good piece of hitting when they just roll one through between the second baseman and first baseman. Either way you look at it, Zach Tobin, left fielder, is going to be on first base with a leadoff base hit. Stepping in is shortstop Will Dunbar.
Yeah, see if Templin out there can produce a ground ball here for a double play and get out of this inning.
Exactly. Something on soft and away and make him try and pull the ball is what they used to say to me when I was up there 100 years ago. Let's see if we can get something easy here, a 2-hopper at the shortstop and clean these bases up. Templin the set. Fastball in for a strike.
Both these lefty pitchers keeping base runners close, because if you watch here with Tobin there at first base, whenever Templin comes set, does his leg lift,
he's moving back.
Yeah, he starts off with a good lead and bounces back, which produces.
There you go. Yeah, there's a lot of different kind of philosophies with that, and I know a lot of coaches teach that when that lefty goes to move back, take a step back because you're not sure if he's coming that way or not. And then some guys just take off first movement. So the count is 1-1. I never liked it either that they could, you're always on that 45-degree angle right there. You're just not sure if he's, if that foot's coming toward home or toward first. He's just borderline balking, but that's the advantage of a left-handed pitcher. Fastball up. He kind of stepped it up there, James, a little bit to get strike 2. Reached back and got a little extra.
But you speak to most lefties at some point in their career, they've been called for a couple balks.
They did, and you should be right on the edge of that, right?
Yeah.
Borderline, it's a distraction. The first base coach gets upset because that foot is right on that angle. And so another throw over to first base. War Eagles have an inclination that Sean Leonard is
a little bit
got some speed in the delivery, and that's going to be fouled back by Tobin.
Off the net, right back into Graber's glove.
That's right. And that's going to bring the count to 1-2. So strikeouts are cool too.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about strikes alone, but strikeouts are really cool. And O'Reilly, it'd be great right here. That foot landed. I mean, I know you're his dad, but I mean,
Right.
that foot is landing on the mat.
He's gonna walk the line.
He's
You
right
know,
there.
and he'll even tell you that running a 2-man crew,
You can't see it.
it's hard for him to see it.
Yeah, and he misses outside there for ball 2. So 2-2. Yeah, that guy that's standing there is the base umpire of the 2-man crew. He has no clue. He's watching the play to see if at first base, and his home plate umpire, he can't really tell either. And you get some elevation, you can see it up here from the box. And that's going to be a drive into left field. Josh Hines is going to gobble that up for the first out. So Dunbar lines out to Hines for the second out inning. I'm sorry, and that's going to bring up Wyatt Wathen or Waffen. I would say Waffen.
You're talking about the box. It's kind of like in basketball. You kind of figure out what you can get away
Exactly.
with, and you just go with
how
it.
much you can grab and push and shove. Exactly. So Wyatt Wathen catching here, batting ninth, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Fastball up, taken for ball 1. And the throw back to first base. Here's a situation probably, James, where you're, if you're Lafayette here, you're probably trying to get him the second with 2 outs. You're probably going to be a little risky here.
I think that's why Coach Walker, Riley keeps picking back to first, just kind of keep him close.
You're right, and
hoping for it one time he does it, and he's going to go, he's going to take off. And
right, you're going to get him. Yeah, and there's a fastball in for a strike with 2 outs here. Lafayette using the old number system with the wristbands. Coach calls a number, and the kid checks the wristband.
That's
fouled back.
I'm not a big fan of those things.
No, long ago when Keith Kilgore was coaching here, he I still remember, vividly, he called 7-1-8, and Casey Murphy hit a home run. And I asked Coach Kilgore after the game, he said, "Why don't you just call 7-1-8 every time?" You know what I mean?
Is that the home run number on the card?
I said, just give him the 7-1-8 every time. And the throw back to first, he's in there safe. So
he bounces out there really big, and got to keep him close.
Leonard is getting some practice sliding into the outside part of that first base.
Seems like not too long ago we were talking about the same deal with, I think it was Easton.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
But you look at Leonard out there, he's way off first.
And that ball is fouled down the right field line, and it's going to be out of play into the Lafayette bullpen.
He keeps bouncing out there, getting that left foot closer to the cut in the turf. He gets too much more. He might not get back.
He might not get back.
Some of these have been a little close, but
the 1-2 offering, and that's going to be low for ball 2. So the count is 2-2, 2 outs in the top of the second. A lot of 2s on the board.
See if we can get a 3 up there.
See if we can
On
get a
the
3.
right side.
That's right. Ooh, we had him leaning that time. I think Riley had an inclination he was going to second, and
he almost got him.
He almost got him. So,
I wonder if that first base coach is like, dude, quit getting so big.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he cut it down a little bit.
He did. He's got a little half a step back, and the delivery to home, that's going to be high and outside. And now the count is full, so now he's taking off. So with the full count and with the 2 outs, Tobin will be off on the pitch. And the pitch home, and that's going to be strike 3, and a nice inning by Riley Templin.
It's a swing and a miss.
He got a swing and a miss. And strikeouts are really cool, as we were talking before. And that's going to end the inning. And Heritage is going to take a 2-1 lead into the bottom of the second. See, I got that right, James.
Yep.
And with that, we'll go to break.
back. Going into the bottom of the second, Heritage up 2-1 over Lafayette. Stepping up now is into the box for the War Eagles is number 10, Wyatt Easley. Martin misses outside for ball 1.
Wyatt Easley in for the War Eagles. Wyatt DHing today, if I got my scorecard correct.
Yep.
It wasn't correct to start the game. Fouls one back there for strike 2. Take that back. Strike 1. Martin with 30 pitches here in the first inning. Here in the bottom of the second, we wonder how long he'll last.
I don't know. You know, he keeps missing outside.
Yeah, and I think so much of any sport is just, balance. And in that delivery, he seemed to be much more balanced. And a strike, so Easley with the count full should see something pretty nice to hit right here.
He should, but
Definitely.
Also be disciplined if it's out.
And a ball up the middle. Dunbar makes a nice play at shortstop, and he's going to throw him out for the first out of the inning. He's going to bring up Jacob Lease. Is Jacob our only left-handed hitter?
Oh, Joe Walker.
Joe Walker. Is he Joe hit both ways?
Nope. He only hits left.
Are you sure? Because I thought he hit that one off the wall in left field.
No, JoJo did.
Jojo Martinez.
JoJo
right.
Martinez. Joe
Right.
Walker.
Joe Walker. There you go.
He only hits left.
Gotcha. There's our 2 left-handers. I got it. Breaking ball there, and he's ahead 0-2 on Lease. And another breaking ball there for Martin's first strikeout and the second out of the inning.
But now we turn over the order, and coming back up is Cooper Mann.
Cooper Mann steps in with 2 outs.
He
leadoff hitter.
He drew the walk his first time up. So second time seeing Martin, maybe see the ball a little bit better. Find something to drive or get another walk.
Exactly. Some ball there. Cooper Mann ahead in the account. Always like that as a hitter. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Fastball on the outside part is going to be called a strike. One and one the count. And breaking ball is going to be fouled down to third base line at the War Eagle dugout.
When Cooper drew that walk before, we were pretty close to the same situation, and then got stayed disciplined and.
Ball outside, barely. 2-2. Now there is an extremely amount of 2s on the board.
Yeah.
2 hits, 2 errors, 2 runs. Cooper's going to foul that breaking ball off. A nice group of Wildwood Lafayette fans in Arkansas
there is
today.
A good group.
Yes, a large number of Lancer. Is that what?
I think it's Lancers.
Lancer fans. Ball's going to be called up for ball 3, and it's full count here with 2 outs. Man's going to lift a fly ball in the infield. The third baseman, Leonard, is going to take it, and that's going to be the third out. So 1, 2, 3 go the War Eagles here in the bottom of the second, and we'll go to break. So we're back here into the top of the third. And James, give us a little pitching statistics here on old Riley.
Right now, going into the top of the third, he's 20 for 28. So 20 strikes on 28 pitches.
Yeah, and if you're 20 of 28 from the foul line, yeah, that's 75%. That's pretty good, and a pitcher even more so. So he's been subscribing to the strikes are cool kind of philosophy, and he starts there with a strike.
Left that one up.
Michael Callahan here stepping in, leadoff hitter. Flew to center field on a long drive in the second inning, or in the first inning. Fouls that one back, and again, Riley just filling up the zone. All right. Ahead 1 and 2. He's been ahead most of the time. He's done a really nice job here. Good pitch on inside part. Callahan fights it off. But again, still ahead 1-2.
That's one of those pitches there as a pitcher, looked like he was coming with it's probably a slider or something. And sometimes they can be hard to handle. And as a catcher and as a pitcher, you're glad he got a little piece of it.
Yeah, no kidding, because he'd probably been standing on first if he hadn't. He's going to miss outside with a fastball. 2-2.
Yeah, like Boston wanted it out, just not that far out.
You're right, and that's okay right there. You're hoping
who knows? He could have, hoping he'll chase it. And
Callahan's going to ground it to Royal. He backhands it and makes a really, really nice, strong throw to JoJo Martinez. And Callahan's going to be out 6-3 for the first out of the inning. And you could see the shortstop, Callahan there, the leadoff hitter, kind of get a little closer to the plate. He's up off the knob of the bat. You can see that. He's just going to try and get one in play with 2 strikes, and he did that. And it took a great play by Royal to get him out. So 1 out there, and Riley steps in there, and then this is Chase Rader. Rader, the right fielder for Lafayette. Breaking ball for a swing and miss, and that should make the count 1-1.
Now, one thing with this Lafayette team from watching yesterday and today, they got some speed.
They do. And that's a quick strikeout there for the second out. And one Riley Templin is looking like he's starting to find his groove a little bit, working quickly. That's
over the
4 straight, not to jinx him, but that's the 4th straight hitter he's retired. And TJ Bender, the designated hitter, steps in for Lafayette. And guess what? Another strike. Quickly ahead, 0-1.
That's what we call right there a good miss.
That's exactly right. Good, nice place to miss. That was actually my one I didn't like to hear was what we were talking about before. And breaking ball there in the outside corner for strike 2. You feel like sometimes, just the philosophy of the team that you're playing, a lot of coaches don't like their hitters to swing at a breaking ball in the first pitch. And you see that spin coming, and as a hitter, you're saying, well, I'm not swinging at it. And if you can get that for a strike, you're ahead 0-1 almost immediately. 2-2 to count. Bender takes time out. Steps back in. And Bender's going to get hit by the pitch for the first base runner of the inning. Second baseman C.J. Campbell steps in with 2 outs here in the top of the third. Templin chases him back to the first base and then misses in for ball 1. Campbell with a base hit in the first inning and an RBI. And he rips one down the line. If that stays fair, it's going to be trouble. It's off the wall. Bender is chugging for home. Here's the throw by Royal, and the ball is going to bounce free. And Bender is going to score all the way from first base on C.J. Campbell's double off the left field wall.
Even though it didn't go our way, that relay was phenomenal.
Yes.
If it would have just been up just a little bit more for Boston to hold on to, he had him at the plate.
C.J. Campbell's second hit of the game and his second RBI. And he's on the route to hit for the cycle, as he had a single and now a double. Hopefully that will change. But that's going to tie the score at 2-2 here in the top of the third inning. Jonah Nosevich, the first baseman, steps in. Ball 1 on the outside part. Nosevich was out on a comebacker in the first inning and was the third out. And he's going to foul that one down the right side, and it's going to be out of play. The old cow noise on the foul ball.
Yeah, I never understood that one out here in the middle of town. Especially with Tyson over there, maybe chickens or something. I don't know.
Yeah. We're going to pickoff attempt is unsuccessful at second base. Years ago, way back in the dark ages, you used to get a snow cone if you got a foul ball and brought it back to the press box. I don't know if that's still the case. But
I don't think so now.
I don't think so. I mean, snow cones have got too expensive. Nosevich is going to push one out to right field.
Jacob Lees takes that one easily.
Is going to take that, and it's going to be the third out of the inning. But Lafayette is going to tie the score on C.J. Campbell's double. Bender scores, and that's going to tie it up 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the third. And we're back here as we move into the bottom of the third. Second baseman Joe Walker is going to step in. The Lancers answer, and we've played 2.5 innings, and we're tied 2-2.
You know, I was figuring today was going to be another battle. It just, you know, wasn't going to be a pitching duel, wasn't going to be a hitting duel. I mean, both these teams came out here to compete, and you know, but I like these games.
Yeah, and I think this is, you know, as a coach, you're always searching for ways to make your team better, and one way to do that is to play good competition. Walker steps out and takes time out. Count 1-0. Fastball misses out. Walker quickly had 2-0 in the count. Fastball in. So Martin here for the Lancers is getting close to throwing probably.
This next pitch will be pitch number 50.
Yeah, I was going to say he's got to be close to 50 pitches. He's going to get a break or a fastball there in the outside part and get a strike. So 3-1 to Walker. Fastball and swing and miss. So count full. Walker batting in the 2-hole and playing second base. And Martin's going to miss over the top of Walker's head, and that's going to be the leadoff hitter on base, and that's what you want to see for the War Eagles.
Especially with Josh Hines coming up here. I mean, we talked about him before. He's got some good power, and, you know, coming into this game batting 500, so you know he's seeing the ball really well.
Correct. And, you know, you're in a beneficial position if you're batting in front of a really, really good hitter. And because obviously the pitcher doesn't want to put a runner on in front of a good hitter, and that's just what happened right there. Ball one. So Walker leads off with a walk. Walker walks. I guess it's fitting.
Yeah.
And the throw to first, back safely. I just wonder if, you know, what kind of little treat do you get if you walk? You know, last time I was here, we were giving out gummy nerds or something.
Yeah.
Down there at first base.
I don't know on that one.
I don't know.
Maybe one.
Martin with the pitch. Hines going to take a fastball for a strike. And it's going to even the count 1-1. Just absolutely gorgeous day. And a swing and a miss. That ball.
I don't think he went on that one.
I don't know, but the ump said he did. So it's going to be 2 strikes. If you're watching this game on your laptop or listening to it on your cell phone, put it away and come out to the park. And there's a ground ball at Dunbar. He's going to go to second for 1, but he's not going to get Hines at first. So Walker's going to be out on the force, and Josh Hines is going to be on with a fielder's choice.
Now we got JoJo Martinez coming up, who bounced it off the left field wall in his first at bat.
Yes, he did. And really, you know, the first inning, the War Eagles were on to something big, 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 and then a line drive to the shortstop and then double off Easton Royal at first. Ended an inning with a double play, but bases were loaded when that happened. So that could have been a really big, big inning for Heritage. So with a runner on first base, Josh Hines with the field choice, JoJo Martinez steps in. Martin has gone the distance for the Lancers. And as I say that,
looks like we might have a pitching change.
And we've got a pitching change. So that's going to close the book on Martin.
Let's see. Looks like we have, I think it's number 22, Brady Morrell coming in, if I saw the number correctly as he was opening that gate to the bullpen.
Number 22.
Yep, number 22.
Brady Morrell is in for the Lancers. He's going to warm up, and with that – we'll take a short break. So Brady Morrell enters for the Lancers, a right-handed pitcher. And for a minute there, I didn't think there was any right-handers in the park. But Morrell's going to come in here in the bottom of the third. He's going to inherit a runner at first base, Josh Hines. There's going to be one out. And JoJo Martinez, who doubled in the first inning, steps into the box. Morrell misses with a breaking ball outside for ball one. James, what kind of speed do we have at first base there for the War Eagles?
Josh can move. I mean, he's our left fielder, and, you know, that's one thing with outfielders. They got to be fast, and Josh can move. If JoJo were to put this
JoJo's going to pop that one up. He better run to first base, and he's out on the pop fly.
I think JoJo just got a little too underneath it. But now there's two outs, and stepping up is Boston Graber. You know, a freshman batting .429.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, Graber's going to step in here with a runner at first base. Morrell does a nice job getting the cleanup hitter for the War Eagles out. And the curveball is going to find the inside corner on Graber for strike one. Morrell looks like one that when you grab that bat, you better be ready to swing because he's going to be around the plate. Throw to first. Hines is in safely. And the pitch. Graber's going to shoot one out into right field. That one looks like it's going to get down. Hines is on his way to third. The throw is going to come in to Dunbar at short. Graber's going to have a base hit, and we're going to have runners at the corners. So with runners in first and third with two outs, here's an opportunity for one Easton Royal as he steps in, and Thatch Dover
coming in to run for Boston.
And so a little speed on the base paths, two outs. Easton Royal up. And he's going to take off towards second and put the brakes on.
Put the brakes on.
You know, I always feel like, too, in a situation like this, I mean, how creative do you want to be as a coach? And how much do you just want to let that guy at the plate just swing away? And I know stealings and hit and runs can kind of have an impact on your hitter. The check swing is going to be called a strike.
Coach Wynn down there not happy at first base.
Yeah, that was questionable. The ball was outside. Easton's now down 0-2. And the curveball is going to freeze Easton Royal for strike 3. And he's going to go down on strikes. And a nice job by Morrell coming in and cleaning up a problem for the Lancers. That's going to send us to the top of the 4th inning in a 2-2 tie. And with that, we'll take a short break. Here to start the top of the 4th. Riley Templin filling up the strike zone with strikes. 2-2 here. A great high school baseball game here on a beautiful day at Matt Murray Stadium. It's not really Matt Murray Stadium, but when you work as hard as Matt Murray works, you probably deserve a stadium named after you.
Yeah, I mean, I just looked over into the War Eagle dugout over there. He's down there.
Yeah.
That man lives around the school.
He does. I mean, you're hardly here where he's not there, and that's going to be a foul down the first base line. First pitch for a strike on Leonard, and a foul ball makes it 0-2. And Riley Templin, he works fast. I mean, he's the kind of guy you want, if you got a long bus ride home. And a fastball on the outside part is fouled off. Leonard's your third baseman for the Lancers, which I think a Lancer is like a jouster, with the horses.
Yeah,
and
that's what I think of.
That's what I think of. I may have that wrong, but it's kind of medieval time, King Arthur stuff. Riley misses there for the first ball of the at-bat. And there's a ground ball at Joe Walker. He's going to gobble it up. A strong throw to Joe Martinez. And Leonard is going to be out 4-3.
That just, like we're talking about with the speed for the Lancers. Hard hit ground ball to Jonas. Still, I mean, Joe had to put some oomph into it.
Yeah, and I think if he had to make that play again, Joe Walker might have charged the ball a little bit and got it on the.
A little bit closer.
Yeah, I think he would have, if he got the second hop instead of the third. Zach Tobin steps in. Zach singled in the second. Templin with a strike. And comes with a fastball with a strike 2 and quickly ahead 0-2. Fastball out is fouled down the first baseline. Tobin, the left fielder. It looked like a little change up there. What do you think, James?
Yeah.
Got him a little change on the outside part. It's going to get him swinging for the second out. And quickly 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, no, he definitely dropped that change up in there. It comes out the same slot as, every pitcher. You try to tunnel your fastball and your changeup the exact same, make it a little bit harder for the hitters to pick up.
Release point.
Yep.
Will Dunbar, the shortstop, in the eighth hole for Lafayette, takes the first pitch for a ball.
Now the Lafayette head coach, third base coach, pretty sure it's the head coach, thought it hit him, and JB saying it didn't. I can't tell from down there.
It's a little gamesmanship there. I think as a coach, sometimes you feel like that opponent is getting in a rhythm, and Riley definitely in a rhythm, throwing strikes, and you get in there a little bit and maybe throw them off, call a timeout before the free throw shooter steps up to the line, and kind of deals. And there's a foul ball down the right side. It's going to be out of play. That time we broke a window.
And there's not any close. Frozen for strike 3.
Beautiful. Great inning by Riley Templin. He's going to strike out the second and the third hitter. The Lancers are going to go 1, 2, 3. No runs, no hits, no errors. And we're going to head to the bottom of the fourth. So we're here back at Mad Murray Stadium and campus of Rogers Heritage High School. Beautiful day. And Jacob Ham, third baseman, is going to step in. And Brady Morrell came in the last inning for Lafayette and really kind of shut the door. So, and he's going to start Ham out with a breaking ball for a ball. His second breaking ball finds the strike zone to even the count 1-1. That's 3 consecutive breaking balls. That one does not find the zone, much to the chagrin of the Lancer fans here down the first base line. But it's 2-1. And Jacob in a nice place here to put a sting on one. Fastball catches the outside part for strike 2. 2-2 the count. So the count would remain 2-2 there with the foul ball.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see Jacob, get a solid contact on one and get the bats going.
Corral with the pitch, a ground ball to Leonard at third base. He's going to crow hop and throw to Nosevich for the first out of the inning. A nice stretch there by the first baseman for Lafayette. James, I wonder if Lafayette's on their way to the beach somewhere for spring.
No, they're working their way back up. They're on their spring break right now.
Oh, they're on spring break right now, so this is the end of the run for them.
Yeah, they go back and really start their season back up in their area.
Got it. Easily takes the first pitch for ball 1.
Yeah, I was down there.
Fastball low.
I was talking to one of their coaches before the start of the game when getting lineups and everything, and they said one of the things they like coming down here for is the facilities in Northwest Arkansas.
Yes. Amen. Ball 3 low. Yeah, the facilities here at Heritage High School are tremendous. Most Division II and even Division I universities don't. I mean, they don't have indoor football stadiums. They don't have field turf on the football and softball field. They don't have arenas, basketball arenas that seat 2,500, fans. So we're blessed here in Northwest Arkansas, especially at Heritage here. Easily with a walk. So the leadoff hitter again is on for Heritage. Take that back. Not the leadoff hitter.
No.
The second hitter is on.
Yep.
So. My mistake. So Jacob Lee steps in. Jacob, the right fielder, is going to take a off-speed pitch outside for ball 1. Easily with a fake steal there. Looked like a take all the way there. Fake bunt for ball 2.
Yeah, it's that whole deal, lulling them to sleep with some fake steals, and who knows, you might cut him loose and
Correct.
see what happens.
It's gonna fake the bunt there again and take strike 1. So 2-1. There's a lot to that when you square. I know the coaching staff there is kind of, he had him leaning, but he made it back. Easily was leaning towards second and barely made it back on the pickoff. It gives you an idea where the bunt coverage is coming. And right there, when Lee's squares, that Leonard, the third baseman, is crashing hard. Here he comes again. Breaking ball catches the outside part. Some War Eagle fans didn't like that call. But that, sitting up here, it seems to be pretty consistent. And not much of a lead there, and Easley is back safely. So with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th, 2-2 the count. And Easley's going to swing at what looked to be a changeup on the inside part, and that's going to be strike 3. So with Easley Lease, I'm sorry. Lease goes down and strikes. Easley's at first base. In steps Cooperman.
Looks like we're having another pitch and change here. And coming in now for the Lancers be Landon Matthews, number 14. Guess while he gets warmed up, we'll go to break.
Landon Matthews in for the Lancers.
7 in for the War Eagles is Cooperman.
Cooperman, the leadoff hitter. Landon's going to inherit a runner at first base. Let's see if I can get this right this time. Wyatt Easley is at first base. Cooper's going to shoot one between first and second, and that's going to put easily on the way to third, and he's going to be there without a play. So a nice piece of hitting by Cooper Mann, taking that first pitch into into that big gap between the second baseman and the first baseman that was holding. And with 2 outs, we got some ducks on the pond, James, and a chance here to take the lead.
Yeah, be nice to get White across home plate and get ahead. Joe Walker takes that one off his right elbow.
He did. He certainly did. So that's going to load the bases with a hit by pitch. It's going to send Cooper Mann to second. Wyatt Easley is going to remain at third, but the bases again are loaded. But 2 outs as Josh Hines steps in. Probably, if you're the Lancers, not the guy you'd like to see stepping in here.
No.
With the bases loaded in the bottom of the 4th inning.
He's one of those kids, kind of a quiet day for him today, but that bat can come to life, and he's got some serious pop to it.
So he's going to take the first pitch outside for ball 1. Josh walked in the first inning and scored, and was out on a fielder's choice, or he was on a fielder's choice in the 3rd.
Just missed that one.
Yeah. So the foul ball brings the count to 1-1. It's a very colorful bat that Josh is swinging there. That's got to be a distraction if you're pitching.
Yeah,
you put some reflectors on there or something. I mean,
then all the wiggling and
strike on the outside corner, and a nice job by Wathan to kind of frame that one on the outside part. Nice job by the Lafayette's catcher. Hines down 1-2. And that one's going to be low and away, evening the count. Well, best case scenario, James, here is he throws a ball here and makes the count full. And then everybody can get on the merry-go-round on the next pitch.
Oh, yeah. That'd be the best deal, because at that, and if Josh can get a hold of it, I mean, that's going to score a couple. I mean, even now with Cooper speed at second, and
with 2 outs, you'd think anything in the outfield is going to score at least 2.
Yeah, because they're off on contact and running hard.
Exactly. So Walker at first, Mann at second, Easley at third.
Swings
and fastball up is going to strike out Josh Hines for the 3rd out. And Warriors are going to leave the bases loaded again and end the 4th inning. And we're here at a 2-2 tie going into the bottom or the top of the 5th. We'll be back in a minute.
I looked round
we're back here. And we're looking at a 2-2 tie, James, as we head into the top of the 5th inning. Riley Templin is gone the distance. We're averaging
about 15 pitches an inning, sitting around 71% strikes.
So he's done an outstanding job, been very efficient.
You know, he's out here doing his job. And
Lafayette's going to send a pinch hitter in, number 21, to bat in the catcher's spot.
Noah Ice.
Noah Ice is going to step in there and foul one off down the first base side at the dugout. 1-1 the count. And Templin's going to throw a changeup on the outside part. And he's going to get ahead 1-2. Nice pitch. The old pool cue, we used to call that. Right off the knob of the bat. And the ball bounces. And Noah Ice is going to get hit by the pitch.
You know, that's still one thing I do not agree with. When it hits the ground, it should be dead. That's baseball, that's softball.
I agree. I mean, if you get hit by a pitch that's bounced, that's the rule. And he's going to be on first base. The leadoff hitter on.
Looks like now we're going to have a pitch runner.
So Noah Ice.
Oh, Wathan will come back in to run.
So this is the Wathan re-enters to run. So nobody out, runner on first base. Michael Callahan, center fielder, steps in. Again, Templin is flirting with that 45-degree angle on his move to first base. And fastball is going to be in there for strike one. Callahan 0 for 2 on the day. The fly out to center field and a ground out to shortstop. There's a lot of him and hawing on down that first base line on every throw to first base.
Yeah. I love how they're trying to say 45 degrees when they're sitting at 90 degrees.
There's no way you can see it over there. And then the other thing is some are yelling, get a bigger lead or get back. So it's. So Callahan, 0-1 the count. Wathan at first base. He squares the bunt. The ball is rolling down the third baseline. It's going to be foul. Graber picks it up, well foul. And the sacrifice bunt is unsuccessful. And strike two. Templin with a really, really difficult pitch to bunt. So outstanding pitch call and execution there. Foiled the sacrifice attempt.
You know, now it comes down to how much does his coach trust him if he can lay it down with 2 strikes, or is he going to let him swing?
He looks like he's in there hugging the plate, choked up a little bit on the bat and the pitch, and it's going to be a fastball out. 1-2. The chance here for a double play. Callahan probably, as a leadoff hitter, has got good speed, but in his approach right here, a ground ball is probably imminent. And there's a ground ball foul, barely. The old baseball rule, if it goes over the base, it's fair. It was close. It was definitely on the outside part of the line. But that's going to be strike. Keep the count at 1-2. Again, runner on first, Wathan. Nobody out. 1-2 the count. There should be like a terminology for just to throw over first, just to keep them close. And
Yeah.
I haven't forgot about you, and that's kind of what that was. It's like, I know you're there, and the pitch is going to be a fastball on the outside part, painted the corner. There, beautiful pitch, and Templin's going to strike Callahan out for the first out. That's Riley's third strikeout of the game. And other than a hit by pitch, a bounced hit by pitch, those are the only 2 free passes that Riley has issued to this point. But 1 out, Lathan on first. Chase Rader, the right fielder for the Lancers, steps in. And again, the bunt down the third base line is going to be pulled foul.
Bunting off a lefty is kind of hard because it's all coming into you. So
the angle is, just by physics, it's hard to keep that fair. And I think as a right-handed hitter, you just can't, level that bat or even that bat out well enough to keep that thing fair. So 0-1 to count. Throw to first, back safely. And I'm not sure about the way the field is built with the field turf. The old grass fields, that all sloped to run water off. So if you bunted one and it wasn't like 4 feet inside the third base line, it was going to roll foul. But I'm not sure here. Square and another unsuccessful bunt. Not sure if he fouled it or not, but it's going to be a strike regardless. And 0-2. So if you're Lafayette and you're going back to the St. Louis area, not getting a bunt down might be a place to start in practice next week.
yeah, I mean they started doing the same thing yesterday when they were having problems with hitting our pitchers and trying to do a small ball game to produce something.
And he's going to be out, swing and miss. So that's going to be the second strikeout of the inning and the 4th of the game for Riley Templin. That's 2 outs.
I mean, TJ Bender that's stepping up now is the one that's kind of giving him the most.
TJ has scored both runs for Lafayette High School. He was on an error by Jacob Ham in the first, and he was hit by a pitch in the third. Fastball for a strike. So we're getting into crunch time, James.
Yeah.
This is the 5th inning. 2 outs here. We got to leave that runner at first, and you'll get a 5 or 6 here in the bottom.
Yeah, I mean, especially for us, but both teams now, it's, counting down the innings, everybody's looking for a run.
Exactly. Now obviously in a tie, a 1 run could win the game. So ground ball up the middle. Templin's going to take it himself, trot over and underhand it. So a great inning by Riley Templin with 2 strikeouts and an easy comebacker for the 3rd out. TJ Bender is out 1-3, and that's the 3rd out. No runs, no hits, no errors. And with that, we end the top of the 5th, and we'll be back in a minute.
All
And we're back here at bottom of the fifth, the 2-2 tie. Wildwood Lafayette out of the St. Louis area. Your Heritage War Eagles are locked up in a battle. First baseman and cleanup hitter Jojo Martinez is going to step here to lead off the bottom of the fifth. Fastball in for ball one.
You know, after yesterday, wouldn't have expected anything different today. I mean, it was a different battle yesterday, and
JoJo's going to check swing, but it's going to be a foul ball. That's going to even the count 1-1.
you know, rather have it go foul, and then some of these check swings that are little dribblers, and next thing you know, you're out.
Yeah. So one of the, the coach, one of the coaches for Lafayette comes out and moves everybody toward the left, and a curveball is next. So 2-1.
But his good hit for the day was two left.
Yeah, and I think you kind of tip your hat a little bit when you're jumping up, moving your outfielders. What kind of pitch is coming next? Fastball up, and it's going to be a slow roller to Nosevich, and pitcher Landon Matthews is going to cover at first. Martinez is going to be out at first for the first out.
I mean, really, one player from each team has really barreled a ball.
Yeah, really. Yeah, then Graber's going to square, and it's going to take the first pitch for strike one. Yeah, now, Callahan for Lafayette hit that one to Cooper Mann early, and Coop did a great job getting back to the warning track. And a fastball in the outside part is going to be strike two. Yeah, it's been a lot of soft contact. And that's going to be fastball in the outside part is going to get Graber for strike three and the second out of the inning. That's the old John Smoltz philosophy, just a little bit out, a little bit more out, and then a little bit more out, and all three of them were called strikes, and Graber's down on strikes. Easton Royal to step in.
That
breaking ball for a swing and a miss.
What you were just talking about, like for the umpires, if you just slowly, in small increments, move it out, you're probably going to get that call versus jump it way out there.
Exactly. And that's going to be a ball low. Yeah, and I think, you keep kind of expanding that area there. And he's going to take that one for ball too low on the fake bunt. But you always feel like the pitchers that hit spots always seem to get calls that not necessarily would be strikes just because they've shown they've got good control. And that's ball three. And my man Landon Matthews, is not missing by much, but he's down 3-1 here with two outs. Easton's going to foul that one back.
Is Jacob Ham. This kid's due.
Yeah. So Royal is going to take the 2-out walk. Jacob Ham. Landon Matthews on the mound for Lafayette. Misses inside with a fastball for ball one. And snap throw back to first. Royal is in easily. I never can get the ball or the strike when there's a throw to a base.
No, eyes go that way.
So we're not sure if it's 1-2 or 2-1, but either way, Easton Royal at first. And Jacob Ham to bat. And a ball low. And I think the count is 3-1.
Hopefully JB will tell us here before too long.
We have not got a signal from the umpire, and I feel like the scoreboard is one pitch short. Throw to first. Easton is back. You know, the baseball players had quite the performance yesterday at the multicultural event.
Yeah, I watched it be a
Jacob Ham shoots one to right field. That's going to be a long run for the right fielder, but that's going to fall.
Foul.
Just foul. That would have been a run.
But, you know, Mr. Davenport and his crew they did the broadcast of that, so I was at home and I watched it on there. And
what'd you think? I mean, are they ready for Dancing with the Stars, or?
Let's come on the baseball field.
I've heard a comment, and I'm not saying who it was, but somebody said, "I'm glad they can play baseball."
Oh, I totally agree. This is what they're better at.
Let's stay on the turf. But you get a lot of credit to get out there. They had the whole team out there. It was good to see. So timeout. Jacob steps out.
You know, that's one good thing about always watching the Heritage Assemblies is the sports teams are always involved.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And a curveball is going to be miss out. Ball's going to bounce right back, but Easton Royal is going to take second. And with the count full, Jacob Ham has a chance with a runner at second and maybe to break this 2-2 tie. And the pitch, and Jacob's going to spoil that high fastball. You got to think with Easton Royal speed there at second and with 2 outs that anything that hits Yosemite out there is going to be a run for the Eagles.
Yeah, because, I mean, as long as it's in the air, he's off on contact, but it doesn't matter.
That breaking ball is going to be low, and Jacob Ham is going to be the second base runner and the second walk of the inning. So with runners on first and second, Wyatt Easley is going to step in. 2 outs, but the War Eagles have something going here. You know, I love everything that Matt Murray does as our onside AD. The guy works his tail off, but them royal blue shoes that he has on, he's got to make the change.
Yeah, I think he was hoping he was going to come out here and see the baby blue uniforms.
Maybe so.
But they're taking
it's
them with
just a
them.
little too much like some our brothers across town on the west side. Fastball in there for a strike. 0-1 the count. 2 outs here.
It'd be nice to see easily put something between first and second. There's
a lot
huge
of space
gap.
there with the second baseman covering.
Hard hit ground ball, probably squeak through.
First baseman seems to be taking the line away, but the third baseman is not. So, you'd think with 2 outs here, anything that would get to the outside of these guys is going to be extra bases and 2 runs. And there's a ground ball at Dunbar at second, and he's going to force out Jacob Ham to end the inning. So the fielder choice by Easley is going to end the inning, and with a couple of walks and a chance, the War Eagles are going to leave 2 guys on base, and that's going to end the 5th as we go to the top of the 6th, tied 2-2.
I looked round and
top of the 6th. Riley Templin has gone the distance and has been spectacular up into this point. 6 strikeouts, a couple hit by pitches, has scattered 3 hits over the course of these 5 complete innings, and 70-plus pitches, and here we go. And there's a bunt and a nice one down the line, and
and then bounces off the mound and makes a heck of a play.
He makes a really, really nice play to get mixed up here. C.J. Campbell, the second baseman at first, but a nice bunt by Campbell right off the bat on the first pitch. But Templin's going to be cat-like off the mound and get him out at first. In steps Jonah Nosevich, first baseman for the Lancers. He's going to take it high for ball 1. Nosevich is going to drive one right back up the middle for a base hit.
You know, that's a good piece of hitting right there. And
Sean Leonard steps in, the third baseman for Lafayette.
Looks like we might have a pitch runner coming in for Nosevich.
Nosevich, the first baseman, has done a really nice job at first defensively and had a beautiful base hit right up there, just like, you know, in the cage, hit the back wall. And number 3,
Nick Schulteis.
Nick Schulteis looks to be the pinch runner, assuming Nosevich will re-enter. Sean Leonard, third baseman, steps in. Top of the 6th here with a 2-2 tie. Riley's going to get him with a fastball on the first pitch, strike 1.
You know, I bet you're right. He's hoping he can get a little ground ball double play action here, get out of it.
Yeah, he's got him leaning, and he got him.
Yeah, I told you he's going to get him at one point.
I know, and you said it, and just persistent. He was just persistent there with his move to first, and he got the runner for Lafayette leaning, and that's going to be the second out of the inning. He's going to be picked off for out number 2.
And, you know, get a swing and a miss there for strike 2.
And there you go. Quickly 2 outs after the base hit.
And as a pitcher, you like to do that because it keeps your pitch count low.
There's a slow roller at Walker. He's going to have to hurry. And he's going to make a nice play, and he throws it to Martinez at first. Sean Leonard is retired, 4-3 for the third out. And what looked to be something going for the Lancers gets quickly snuffed out. And that's going to leave the game 2-2 as we go to the bottom of the 6th, sorry. Bottom of the 6th.
minutes down.
Down.
You know, we were just talking. Ronnie, he's just a big human. And he's only a junior.
And he's only a junior. Yeah, he's a large gentleman, defensive tackle looking type player. And he's down in the count 1-2. And he's going to foul that one back with a nice cut.
I wonder how many times he's been talked to by Coach Munoz.
And a certain basketball coach, because he is one of the taller kids that walk across campus. And the breaking ball is going to be inside. Count even 2-2. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Acosta drives one to center field. Callahan has got a beat on it, but a loud, long out number 1 for the War Eagles. Acosta put a charge in it, but didn't quite get enough.
You know, long out, but also at the same time, you look at it, you just got brought in to pitch hit, then you haven't been in the game, pitch hitting for a defensive player, and shows the coach, you're willing to get up there and hit.
Yeah, and I think that it was just a ground ball there, Cooper Mann, and Campbell is going to throw him out at first for the second out. Yeah, the Acosta at bat was really nice, and it just didn't really sound real crisp. And I think when you saw Ronnie walk off the floor, he was shaking his head like, I just missed that one. Yeah. And he did. I mean, I feel like he just missed it. Joe Walker to step in here. 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th. Fastball is going to miss out. Walker's going to foul that one down the third base line. Walker's been out on a walk. He's been hit by a pitch, and he had been out on a sacrifice. So he's literally not been up today. And ball 2, so 2-1. This is his 4th plate appearance, but he's officially 0 for 0 on the day.
Hey, just get on base any way you can.
Exactly. His on-base percentage looks outstanding. Swing and a foul tip. It's going to even the count 2-2. Ground ball at Campbell at second, and a big Sunday hop is going to throw Joe Walker out at first base. And 2 consecutive outs, 4-3, and that's going to end the inning. 1-2-3 go the War Eagles as we go to the top of the 7th, tied 2-2. Up comes the top of the 7th, and out trots Riley Templin as he continues. Riley's been outstanding today. 1 earned run over 6 complete innings.
See if he can shut him down here and give his team a chance in the bottom of the 7th.
He faced the minimum in the last inning. And we're going to start here with Zach Tobin, left fielder for the Lancers, and it's top of the 7th, and it's past crunch time. Here we go.
It's down that now or never.
It's now or never. 2-2, 2-2 tie. Tobin squares the bunt. He's going to take ball 1. Tobin singled in the second, and he struck out in the fourth. This is his third at bat. Breaking ball in for strike one, evening the count 1-1. Templin is looking to work quickly, and there's a base hit past Jacob Ham into left field. And a ground ball right where there were no defenders, and that's going to be a base hit and the second hit for Zach Tobin on the day. Bullpen is busy for the War Eagles. Riley must be in the 80 pitch range.
Yeah, he's sitting around 83 right now.
We're not counting throws to first base.
No.
But he's got a few of those too. So he's been out there for 6 innings and just done outstanding. Shortstop Will Dunbar in for Lafayette. Large lead there for Zach Tobin at first. He squares the bunt, and nice job, Jacob Ham, by letting that thing roll foul for strike one. He was crashing hard. Little home court advantage right there, home field advantage. He had an idea that ball would roll foul.
Yeah, ran right over the top of it, and that's one of those. As an infielder, you're like, please go foul.
Please go foul. Please go foul.
Coach is about to get me.
Please go foul. So with the failed bunt attempt, Will Dunbar, shortstop, is going to be in the box 0-1. Freshman Graber is directing traffic out there. We got a runner at first base and nobody out.
So Lafayette seems to be trying to do some small ball in here.
And the bunt is down. It's a two-hopper at Ham. He's going to go to second. And we're going to get an... I'm not sure if we're out at first. We're out at second. Nice play by Jacob Ham, throwing the ball, I believe, to Easton Royal and getting the lead runner. Will Dunbar is going to make it to first on a fielder's choice, but we're going to get one out and a runner on first base.
And that was almost a nice double play off of a bunt.
Almost. They were crashing hard. So with one out, Wyatt Wathan steps in. Wathan struck out in the second, was pinched hit for in the 5th inning, and now steps in here for his second plate appearance of the game. Will Dunbar at first base for the Lancers. And another throw to first base, back safely. James, we got a guy up in the bullpen.
Looks like we got a couple. I believe one of them is number 17, Hayden Linton. I can't see the other one because of the pole.
There you go. So we got 2 guys up. And there is a line drive, played on a hop. And it's going to be a base hit for Wyatt Wathan. Josh Hines did a nice job there. He was contemplating trying to catch it in the air, but then made a nice play to make the stop. Base hit.
It looks like Coach Walker's going to come out.
So with one out in the top of the 7th, Wyatt Wathan with a base hit at first. Will Dunbar on with the fielder's choice at second base, and that's going to close the book on Riley Templin. Outstanding job by Riley. Give us some stats there, Dad.
He went 6.1 innings, gave up 6 hits, two runs, only 1 earned, had 6 strikeouts, and faced 27 batters.
And with that, we'll take a break. We're here, top of the 7th. Carter Muth in for the War Eagles. Coming in for Riley Templin. Outstanding performance by Riley. Riley's going to leave runners at first and second with 1 out. And number 10, center fielder and leadoff hitter, Michael Callahan, is going to step in for Lafayette High School. Michael is 0 for 3 on the day with a fly ball, a ground out, and a strikeout. And let's hope we can keep that string going. The number game in place. And Muth misses inside for ball 2. Boy, a nice 2-hopper at Easton Royal would look pretty good right here, James. What do you think?
It'd be great. This is, Carter, this is his first time on the mound for the War Eagles this season. So, his nerves are probably going to be up there a little bit, come in tight spot.
And fastball is going to find the zone there for strike 1. So we're in that situation again, James. Strikes are cool. He's going to square around. That's going to be Joe Walker. He's going to line out, and he's going to throw it by JoJo at first base. Will Dunbar will move up to third. Callahan is going to be out on a line out for the second out. So with 2 outs, there's going to be runners on first and third. Chase Rader, right fielder, steps in. So now nothing else matters, James, except this guy in the box. Get him out and the inning is over and no run scored. But a first and third situation and a swing and a miss by Rader.
But there's also a lot of pressure on him, too. He's got to put something in play to get that guy.
Exactly. 2
home.
outs, there's. And to Rader's credit, it wasn't exactly like he wasn't aggressive on that first swing. And another aggressive swing for strike 2. And Muth doing a good job working the inside part of the plate. So with 2 strikes, Muth one out away to getting out of this jam. And the runner takes off. And he fouls it off.
And he'll go back to first base. I was trying to figure out what he's doing out there. He's doing a little.
He's trying to get in a run down there, and he's got second base stolen. But with 2 strikes on the hitter, I mean, Ryder can't exactly not swing at it, or it's going to be strike 3 and the inning's going to be over. So best laid plans are fall awry, and it's going to be 0-2 and 2 outs. And there goes the runner. He's going to stop, and we're going to foul that off again. So Boston's going to have to be a wall back there and catch this strike 3. Still nothing in 2 on the hitter. The runner is going to second.
Okay, so what's going on here, if I can hear it right up here, is the Lafayette dugout talking about, yelling balk or whatever at Carter out there, which is a violation of the rules. They can't be yelling that type of stuff. And so I think he's talking to the coach, going to give him a warning, and we'll see what comes of it.
So in this situation, Carter's in his delivery. Boston Graber, the catcher, stands up and tries to call time. The runner advances to second base and will remain. Okay, so the runner's going to go back to first because of the timeout. Lafayette trying to do anything to get this run in. Wathan has taken off toward second base, and that is not going to matter because down goes Ryder on strike 3, and Carter Muth comes on in and shuts him down. So the Lancers are going to leave runners on first and second, and we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th, still tied 2-2. So 2-2 here as we return to action. Josh Hines is going to step in. War Eagles are tied 2-2 with Lafayette High School out of the St. Louis area. Landon Matthews on the bump. Hines steps in and takes ball 1.
I don't know if people can hear it through our headsets or not, but there's a lot of emotion out in the crowd right now. Both sides.
And a fastball is going to be swung through for strike 1. So 1-1 the count. Got to like your chances. 3, 4, and 5 up, the meat of your order. Just need a run to win. Hines just fouls that one back. Ball, strike 2, 1-2 the count.
Don't try to win it one swing, just base by base.
Base by base. Matthews with the pitch, and it's going to be a breaking ball. It's going to be high for ball 2. So 2-2 the count. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. And the curveball is going to catch the outside part barely.
I think they're trying to say he swung, but, I mean, he held that bat back. He never broke the first base line. That's 3 times that's happened to us today.
So Hines is going to go down on strikes any way you cut it. It's either a K or a backwards K. 1 out. JoJo Martinez steps in. And the breaking ball on the outside part, and the strike zone seems to have gotten a little larger.
It has.
It's one of those things that, you know, you got to be thinking here that he's going to go back out there because that pitch was outside, and it's borderline pitch, go either way. And they called it a strike, so here it comes again, I would assume. Something you might be able to drive opposite way would.
Right down that first base line.
A lot of room down there in the right field corner, and I know JoJo's got that ability, so take that little spinner and drive it against the wall out there in right field. And there's a fastball. JoJo gets on it. It's going to be right at left fielder Tobin, and he's going to go to one knee and make a catch. However you cut it, it was a nice contact. Line out to the left fielder for the second out. Joe had a little topspin on that. Thing was hooking on.
And now steps in Boston Graber. He's been doing a great job behind the plate today, and now hopefully he can get something started.
Boston's been on twice with a walk and a single. Struck out looking his last time up. Breaking ball, fouled back. So Landon Matthews ahead in the count here, 1-2. And with a 1-0 game yesterday and a 2-2 game today, if you haven't come out here to watch the War Eagles play baseball, you have missed the opportunity to enjoy some really, really good baseball and some beautiful weather. And fastball is going to miss up, bringing the count to 2-2. And Boston's going to get a little piece of that. Callahan with the throw. The dive at first, and he's going to be out. That's going to end the inning. So 1, 2, 3 again go the War Eagles.
And we'll go to the top of the 8th.
And the score remains 2-2 as we go to the top of the 8th.
I
Extra baseball. Here we go, James. Top of the 8th. Carter Muth on the mound for his second inning of work. TJ Bender, the DH, is going to step in for the Lancers. And here we go. Top of the 8th, tied 2-2. There's one off the handle. Easton Royal's going to have to hurry. And he's going to make an outstanding play with a throw on the run for the first out. And Bender is out 6-3. Great play by Easton Royal. He seems to be doing a lot of that lately, James.
Oh, man, he's killing it at shortstop this year. You know, there's some plays I've seen I didn't think he could make, and he's making some excellent plays.
Yeah, that was a really, really nice play. And a throw on the run and nice and accurate there. C.J. Campbell, second baseman, is going to step in. C.J. is singled in the first, doubled in the second. He's got 2 RBIs. Both runs are his responsibility. And he was out on a comebacker in the 6th inning. 2-0 the count. Muth with the delivery. And that's ball 3. Campbell's going to take ball or strike 1, making the count 3-1. Campbell right on the plate. I mean, he is right on it. And there's a swing and a fly ball down the left side. I think that ball's going to get out of play. And it's out of for strike 2. So a strike and a foul ball, and the count is full.
You know, let's credit to Muth coming back, you know, down 3-0, working it back to a full count now.
And that's going to be a ball outside. Campbell's going to draw a walk. The Lancers will have a base runner at first base. Jonah Nosevich, first baseman, is going to step in. Jonah singled last time up. A pinch runner came in for him and promptly got picked off by Riley Templin. Carter misses inside. Curveball in there for a strike, evening the count 1-1. Kind of fooled him there, James. It looked like he was looking fastball, being ahead in the count.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't expecting it being up 1-0. But that's one thing that makes you, you know, as far as being a pitcher, if you can throw your off speeds in any count for strikes, you're going to constantly keep the hitters guessing.
For sure. Carter misses there inside, 2-1. And there's a ground ball at Easton Royal with the flip to Joe Walker and the turn to JoJo Martinez. And that's a twin killing. And that's going to end the inning for the Lancers. And they're going to go 1-2-3 as we head into the bottom of the 8th, still tied 2-2. Back here, bottom of the 8th. 2-2. War Eagles up to bat. Landon Matthews continues for Lafayette.
Got Easton Royal stepping up.
Easton Royal takes a questionable off-speed pitch for a strike.
I'm like you. I mean, I think that outside corner has grown.
It has grown a little bit as and there he's got a swing at it. And
because, I mean, that's one of those, whether you swing or don't, it's a strike.
I think you just get a little bit closer to the box and you try and take that pitch the other side. If you're a pitcher, you'd be silly not to work out there. And there he does again, even further out for ball 1. So 1-2 the count on Royal. Royal shoots one into right field, but it's going to be right at Rader, and that's going to be out number 1.
You know, both teams, you know, minus the first inning for the War Eagles, but their defense has been playing solid.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of when the ball has traveled to the outfield, it seemed to be right at them. So there's some guys moving some pieces in that dugout, putting in the right place. Jacob Ham, a couple hopper to Callahan and he's going to overthrow first base. And the error is going to put Jacob Ham at first. It's a slow roller. I'm sorry, Dunbar, the shortstop, had to come up with it quickly. And in his hurry, he overthrew the first baseman. And that's going to put Jacob Ham at first base with 1 out.
Looks like we're going to have a pitch runner for Wyatt here. It'll be Thatch Dover, number 2. Definitely trying to get, you know, Jacob can pitch. He can play third, but Thatch is just a little bit faster.
Yeah, and I think that's it. So Thatch Dover is going to pinch run in this case for Jacob Ham. Thatch being a catcher by trade, probably a re-enter is forthcoming. But with 1 out, Thatch Dover at first, and Wyatt Easley to bat.
You know, you might be looking at a steal here, try to get out of the double play situation and move Thatch into scoring position.
So a breaking ball is going to be swung through for strike 1. Easley has been on a fielder's choice. He's walked, and he's grounded out to the shortstop. This is his fourth plate appearance. Throw to first. Dover's back in time. And another throw to first. Nosovich there is a pretty sure-handed guy there at first base, but he couldn't come up with that last one. Timeout. Easley steps out. Landon Matthews has been pretty solid here for Lafayette over the last 3+ innings. Fastball for a strike. Easley is down 0-2 in the count. 1 out here in the bottom of the 8th. Throw to first. Dover back. He's got the oven mitt on his left hand, as we call it. What did we call that last week?
He's about to make some cookies.
He's about to make some cookies over there. Easily looking for a little bingo here. Keep this inning alive. Throw over. Again, the oven mitt's back safely.
Yep.
Breaking ball is fouled down the right side. Nosovich is tracking, and he's going to bail out as it gets close to the fence. And the count will remain 0-2.
Yeah, he wasn't real sure where that fence was, and I don't think he was getting any help from his dugout telling him if he was close or not.
Yeah,
He was kind of awful quiet.
he got to a point there, and maybe the wheels were turning. I don't know if this is worth it. So he kind of backed down a little bit. Cooled the jets. There's another throw over. And Dover is back safely. Matthews with the pitch. And again, foul down the right side. Souvenir alley over there, James. I mean, that's what we're going to call that area in between the softball field and where the concession stand is. That's been duly named Souvenir Alley because we've had about 20 foul balls there today.
Oh, yeah, it's just a good thing.
And the throw over to first, and they got him.
Coach wins.
So Thatch was wandering off first base. And he is picked off for the second out.
Huh? I didn't see that one. Didn't know if we had anything back. Now they're going to stick with it. He was out.
If we could get a replay on that. Okay, well, I missed it. I was watching it live. It was close. It was a good job by Matthews. He caught him wandering off. Now there's 2 outs and 2 strikes on Easley. Matthews with the pitch. And Easley's going to ground it to Campbell at second and over to Nosevich. And that's going to end the inning. So that's 9 retired in order for Matthews as we go to the top of the 9th with the score 2-2.
We'll be back.
Back here in the top of the 9th. Carter Muth into his 3rd inning of work. Lafayette High School will send Sean Leonard to the third baseman up. Sean is 0 for 3 with a couple of ground outs and a fly ball.
While we're on break, we're sitting there looking for all you people that rather watch War Eagle TV and War Eagle baseball over certain other things going on. Arkansas is up over St. Joseph.
They are. John? St. John's. They are leading 22-14. There's a fly ball to Lease, and he's under it. And Leonard is going to be out number 1.
We'd rather give you updates on the Arkansas game and keep you here watching us.
Exactly. We'll tell you, they're up 22-14 with about 6.5 minutes left to go in the first half. And when we turn it off, because we can't do both. Let me say that.
No,
I can't
absolutely
do both.
not.
I can't do both, so I'm going to stay in the game here. Zach Tobin up for the Lancers. 1 out here in the top of the 9th.
You just yanked that one a little wide.
Yeah, that was what we used to call the Tom Olson 55-foot curveball for ball 1.
That's all right. Now you got him looking outside.
Exactly.
Come back inside.
And there's a fastball, and that's down. So it's going to be 2-0. 1 out here in the top of the ninth. Moves the delivery, and the fastball is going to find the zone for strike one. Tobin was a base hit in the 7th. He struck out in the 4th and had a base hit in the 2nd, so he's 2 for 3 on the day. That pitch misses for ball 3. There's a shot up the middle, and that's going to just sneak by Easton Royal with a great effort, but that's going to be a base hit for Tobin, and that's going to be his 3rd hit of the day. Tobin also with a nice play in left field on a sinking line drive Martinez hit, but he's going to be the Lancers' first base runner here in the top of the 9th. Shortstop Will Dunbar, and curveball is going to find the inside corner for a strike. James, one of those 2 hoppers at Easton Royal would look pretty good here. We could go to the bottom of the 9th and maybe make it home and watch the second half of the.
Yeah. Get out of this and got Jacob Lees and then flip the order over.
There you go. And did somebody hit a home run and
call it a night?
Call it a day. Yeah, that'd be great. But 1 out here in the top of the 9th. And a swing and a foul ball by Dunbar. And he's going to fall behind 0-2. Muth looks like he's got some nice run on that fastball.
Yeah, it definitely runs out.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely not flat, and you don't want to be flat. If it's flat, that means it goes a long way.
That's right. And that's going to catch his jersey. Or is the inside of his elbow. Either way, it wasn't much contact. Dunbar is going to go to first on a hit by pitch. And there'll be runners on first and second with 1 out. Wyatt Wathan catching today for Lafayette. Wyatt's been up twice, been pitch hit for once. He struck out, and he's got a base hit. Runners on first and second here, 1 out. Top of the 9th.
You know,
fastball and a strike.
Still a good opportunity for one of the math equations that don't add up. 6, 4, 3 equals 2.
That's exactly right. I like that. I like your thinking. I didn't learn that in math, but I wasn't the best math student either. It could have been there. And we're going to square to bunt and offer, and it's going to be strike 2. So, James, the game yesterday was a couple 2 to 3 botched suicide squeezes for Lafayette. And today, with the exception of maybe once, possibly twice, where they've executed the sack. So 0-2 the count here on Wathan. And he's going to foul that on to 71 business. Nope, the net's going to catch it. Count remains 0-2. Evidently, there's some cows over there on 71 business.
I guess. Right through all the cars.
There's a cattle trailer there or something maybe. But Wathan here, and the ball is going to get by Boston Graber, and that's going to put runners at second and third, and 1 out. The ball was low. Makes the count 1-2 with 1 out. And Heritage is going to put their infield on the green. 2 strikes here on Wathan. Boy, strikeout would be huge here, James.
It'd be massive. Get down, get 2 outs.
And fastball runs outside to that left-handed hitter for ball 2. I think if you're in this situation, you're not so concerned with this hitter. I would think I would try and keep stuff away and make him swing at something because first base is open and it puts the force back in. There's a little flare into left field. That's going to fall.
Takes a bad hop.
It takes a bad hop. Easton Royal is going to pick it up, and he's going to throw that guy out at third. And Will Dunbar having to hold because the ball was in the air, tried to stretch it into third base, and Easton Royal throws him out for the second out.
You know, that's just one of those deals, you know, infield in and kind of those little flares. Those are just hard.
Yes. So,
and then it took the Lafayette hop there.
Right. So Wathan ends up at second. Dunbar's out at third. And Zach Tobin is going to score to break the tie and give the Lancers a 3-2 advantage. This brings up leadoff hitter Michael Callahan. Michael takes the first pitch for a strike. Michael is 0 for 4 on the day. A couple fly balls and a ground ball and a strikeout. And the breaking ball is going to catch the inside part for strike 2.
You know, even if we can get out here, down 1 run, I mean, it's still a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's a big out there. The ball took a bad hop. It was going to be hard for that run to score or to get the runner at home plate anyway. But throwing the runner out of third, and there he's off to the races, and there's a cue shot to Muth at first, or at the pitching mound. So we're gonna have a little conference here between the two umpires.
They're saying foul. Umpire said fair. Lafayette saying foul.
He's out.
Umpire said no. He's out at first base.
Yeah. So Michael Callahan is out on a ground ball to the pitcher. That's what it says in the book. Now, whether it was fouled off or what happened, we don't know. Anyway, they called him out. The Lancers are going to score a run on a hit, and a hit by pitch, and what looks in a 1-1 hit.
Yeah.
Well, just one hit, but they do score a run. They're going to take the lead 3-2, and with that, we'll go to a break.
All right, and we're back into the bottom of the ninth. Arkansas.
See, we got to quit watching the Razorback
Orioles
game.
trailing 3-2 with Jacob Lees coming up to bat. I don't know on that one, but
Jacob Lees takes a ball. He feels like he got hit, but the ump says no. Ball 1.
you know, both coaches have been in JB's ear about some calls, and I guess that's part of the game.
Jacob Lees takes another ball inside, and the ball looks like it's hitting the top of his foot. Fastball for a strike. Fastball for another strike. Landon Matthews has been pretty right on here and since the 5th inning. I think this is inning number 4 for him, and he's retired at least the last 9 in a row. Or I guess we would say face the minimum. 2-2 to count.
Looks like both teams are kind of getting a little chirpy.
It's a highly contested game.
I mean, there's been missed calls on both sides, and
that ball is high for ball 3, and Jacob Lease has worked the count back full after being. And ball 4, and the leadoff runner is on base. Nice at bat by Jacob there. He took the first 2 pitches and probably got hit on both of them. And then fell behind 2-2 and then came back and got the walk. So we're going to run her on first base as we move back to the top of the lineup in Cooper Mann. Cooper walked in the first inning, stole the base, and scored a run. And he's going to foul that into Souvenir Alley. He flied out in the second and singled in the 4th. And was out 4-3 in the 6th. So this is his 5th time. With the foul ball, the count's 0-1. We have a pitch count on Landon Matthews, or
yep. Give me 1 second.
and a curveball on the outside part for a strike.
He's at 71.
He's been getting that. He's been good to get that pitch. He's been accurate, but that ball seems to be just a little bit off the plate. And another slider, breaking ball type pitch, and Cooperman goes down on strikes. So with one out, Lease at first base, bottom of the ninth. Heritage down 3-2. So the first, not in time. Rotate the diamond. That's what, you go to a Razorback game, that's what you hear. Somebody says rotate the diamond when they keep throwing it to first. Walker on the day has had a sacrifice. He's walked, he's been hit by a pitch, and he's grounded out to second. Officially 0 for 1 on the day. And he shoots one to left field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Walker takes an outside pitch and deposits it over the shortstop's head for a single. And he's on at first base, and Lease moves to second. So with one out, runners at first and second.
Now we got Josh Hines coming up.
And the 3-0 hitter, Josh Hines, walked, been on a fielder's choice today, and he struck out twice. Fastball in there for a strike.
Jacob there at second, he does have some good, he is pretty quick. So we just need to find something to the outfield.
Got some speed. And the infield is in on the corners. And a foul ball into Souvenir Alley. Oh, 2 the count on Hines. Fastball away. Opportunity to move up, but
Just missed it.
at least declined that opportunity. But the ball trickled away, didn't see it. And with one out in the bottom of the ninth down with a run, you're not going to take a chance there.
And when he gets his secondary, he's there behind the field
Yeah.
umpire. It's kind of hard to see it.
Yeah, he couldn't see the ball. So
Yeah.
1-2 to count on Hines. And the curveball in the outside part is called a ball. Just missed. 2-2.
Josh going to call request time, and it was granted. Taking a little bit to get the signs of the pitcher.
Yeah, again, Matthews has been very good here through the last 4 innings. But he is into the mid-70s in his pitch count. And the pitch, and that's going to be yanked foul. Breaking ball in the inside part. Hines fought it off, and he'll stay alive.
Yeah, this next pitch will be number 80 for Matthews. I bet you he's getting close to the end of his time out there.
Yeah, and they are busy in the pen. And the curveball misses inside, and that makes the count full. So Josh Hines has fought his way back to a full count. Outfield seems to be straightaway. And a foul ball down the right side, and Nosevich giving chase, but that's going to be out of play.
It hits right on top of the trainer's golf cart there.
It did.
Yeah. Wonder if Mark was ready for that one.
I hope he wasn't in there. I mean, he may sometimes he's in there, but. So full count here. 1 out, bottom of the ninth. Lafayette leading the War Eagles 3-2. Landon Matthews for Lafayette with the pitch. A fastball on the outside part. Josh Hines is going to swing through it for the second out. With JoJo Martinez with a runner on second base steps in to be what looks to be the War Eagles' last chance.
Looks like that's going to be the pitching coach that's going out there.
Yeah, pitching coaches can't make pitching changes. You ever notice that?
Yeah,
When the pitching coach goes out there, then they never take the pitcher out.
Yeah, see, that was real quick.
When the manager goes out there, then that's different. Then he's coming out. And I never understood that. I mean, when I take a guy out of the basketball game, I don't walk out to half court and say, okay, come with me. I mean, why do they do that in baseball? Why do you got to go? Why can't you just flip them?
Gotta go talk to him first.
I guess so. I mean, okay, well, here's the situation. Runners on first and second. Tying run at second. A winning run at first. JoJo Martinez in the box. JoJo has doubled and lined out, flied out, and grounded back to the pitcher. So he's 1 for 4 on the day with a double. And the curveball on the inside part is going to be called for a strike. And there's a weak ground ball at the third baseman. And that's passed. And Jacob Lease is going to score. And that's going to tie the game up.
No.
Sean Leonard, Leonard, the third baseman, picked up the slow ground ball and overthrew the ball into the fence.
Hang on. It went out of the field of play. By rule, should be advanced 2 bases, depending on how it is. So if that's the case, Oh, they're saying with 1.
Right, but so Joe Walker was at first. So
Yeah.
his 2 bases are at third.
Well,
Am I
but
saying this right?
he was already going
He was
to second, so it should be 2 from second.
maybe.
But they said it's 1. But either way, we tied the game.
The game is tied.
Now we got Boston Graber up. We got the winning run at third base.
Yes.
If Boston can find any green behind that infield.
And a foul ball on the first pitch for strike 1. So Jojo Martinez at second base gets on an error, but keeps the game alive, tying the game 3-3. Joe Walker, standing at third base, is the winning run. Freshman Boston Graber is in. And with a foul ball and a breaking ball on the outside part, is quickly down 0-2.
I just don't know what you're supposed to do with that pitch whenever it's a little bit out in between the edge of home plate and
he's
batter's
lived out
box.
there.
And what the umpires call the river, I mean, there's just not much you can do out there.
Yeah. Ground ball at Dunbar. And he's out.
Okay.
So Dunbar makes the throw. Nosevich makes an unbelievable play and keeps his foot on the base to keep the winning run from scoring. That's going to tie the game, though. And the War Eagles strike for 1 run on a hit, an error, and we're going to go to the top of the 10th, tied 3-3. So a pitching change as we head into the top of the 10th. Hayden Linton in for the War Eagles. But, James, this has been quite a game. I mean, the Lafayette and Heritage has played now going into the 17th inning.
In 2 days.
In 2 days. And with a 1-0 win yesterday for the War Eagles and a 3-3 tie here into the top of the 10th. You know, it's been quite the competitive series.
I mean, this is just the last 2 days have just been some great baseball. I mean, a little heart attack, but it's been some great baseball. You know, I'd rather sit here and watch these all day.
So Chase Ryder for Lafayette's going to step in, right fielder. He's going to lead the inning off. He's 0 for 4 today with 3 strikeouts and a pop out to the second baseman. Like to see that string continue. Nothing against Chase, but
you know, we do root for the War Eagles around here.
That's right. Hayden Linton with the pitch. And that's going to be a ball down and away. Lots of activity in the Lafayette bullpen.
Drops that breaking ball in there for a strike.
Breaking ball there. And Chase has been an aggressive batter. Fastball up. 2-1 to count. There's a fastball down and away, and it's 3-1. And Chase Ryder is going to take that fastball and deposit it into the left field for his first hit of the day. And the Lancers have their leadoff batter on base. And DH TJ Bender. Next up for the Lancers. TJ squares, and he's going to take a strike. Throw to first. He's back there safely. TJ has scored 2 runs for the Lancers. He's been on an air, hit by a pitch. He's out 1-3 and out 6-3. And the square, and he's going to pull it back for ball 1. It's quite the chess match going on with runner at first.
That
Both coaches, catcher, everybody's giving signs. Everybody's into sign language. We got the number drill with the Lancers. This is 5-5-5. Well, let's see what this is.
Hopefully it's a ground ball double play.
Yeah, I think so. If that's it, we should, the Heritage should try and get them to call that all the time. And the pitch, and JoJo was heading toward to cover the bunt. And Linton decided to throw the ball to first. And that could have been worse. That could have been a lot worse. Martinez makes a nice job knocking the ball down and not giving Raider 2 bases. So nobody out here. Runner on second, top of the 10th. And the square and the bunt. And Jacob Ham is going to throw the ball past Joe Walker, and a run is going to score.
They've been trying that small ball all day and yesterday, and that's one of the few times it's kind of worked in their favor.
Yes. So on the air, Chase Ryder is going to score. Bender ends up at second base. C.J. Campbell, the second baseman, steps in. And the Lancers have taken the lead 4-3. Linton is going to throw a ball in the dirt, if you say that when it's on turf, and the ball is going to get back to the box. T.J. Bender is going to end up at third.
While Coach Walker goes out there and talks, just something to know about with this Heritage baseball team. I don't think we've talked about it yet. Out of the senior class, I think there's like 13 of them. There's 9 of them that are committed to go play college baseball somewhere. All the way from, I think, like Hayden here is committed to Drury. My son that started the game, Riley, he's committed to North Ark along with Wyatt Easley and Thatch Dover, all going up there. Eastern Royals going down to South Ark. Braxton's going to Cali up in Kansas.
Yep.
Cade's going to Northwestern. JoJo is going to Mountain Home out there. So, and then Josh is going to Crowder Lake. I'll have to look up where he's going. But, I mean, that's a tremendous deal.
Yeah,
9 out of 13.
Outstanding. Yes, yes. It will continue to play after this season. So 1-0 the count on Campbell. And that fastball is outside. Bender at third. The infield is in for Heritage. Lafayette has taken a 4-3 lead on an error, a throwing error. And Campbell calls timeout. Nobody out here in the top of the 10th. And that ball is fouled down the left side. Count goes to 2-1. First baseman Jonah Nosovich is on deck. And Litton misses outside for ball 3. So Campbell's going to draw a walk. Campbell has had 2 hits and 2 walks. He's been on base 4 of his 5 at-bats today. And with runners on first and third and nobody out, first baseman Jonah Nosovich steps in. Linton misses with a curveball up. There's activity in the War Eagle bullpen.
Yeah, I can't see who's down there throwing.
It's somebody with a blue glove.
Might be Lake.
And the pitch. And that curveball is going to find the zone for strike 1. So 1-1 with no outs. First and third for Lafayette. Linton's going to step off. Another breaking ball for a strike. 1-2 on Nosovich, which Nosovich is right now the star of the game for keeping his foot on first base on that last out in the bottom of the 9th inning. That ball gets by, we're already back home watching the Razorbacks play.
Well,
first and third,
I'll be driving.
There you go. First and third, and we're going to throw it away. So Linton throws the ball past Martinez at first base, allowing T.J. Bender to score for the second run of the inning. That moves C.J. Campbell to second base. We've had 2 errors on pickoff moves that have been costly.
They have been.
In that case,
was a big one.
We allowed the second run of the inning to come in, making the score 5-3. In the previous inning, it allowed the runner to move into scoring position that ultimately scored. Nosovich is going to swing at a curveball, and that's going to be strike 3. So that's going to be the first out of the inning. As Nosovich goes down on strike, Sean Leonard to step in, third baseman. Leonard has flied out in the second. He's grounded out to the second baseman in the fourth and the sixth inning, and he flied out to center field right field last time up. And that breaking ball is going to find the zone for a strike. When you look closely at that yellow bat, you almost think he's swinging a wooden bat down there.
It does look wood.
So a runner on second base here, we need to stop the bleeding, James. I mean, This is far enough.
You know, just need to get one more out here, give us a better chance, get out of this inning with just giving up 2 runs.
Exactly. And we're going to square, and we're going to fake the pickoff move. Pickoff attempt. Campbell back safely. Well, the defensive prowess has kind of fallen apart here in the extra innings. The board has the War Eagles with 5 errors on the game, and the Lancers with 3, so 8 total. And most of those have come in the last 30 minutes.
Yeah. You know, good news is we still get the bat.
That's right. We always have a chance. Leonard squares and misses there. He's down 0-2 in the count. A strikeout here would be really cool.
It'd be awesome.
I mean, we say, strikes are cool, but strikeouts are even cooler at this point. And the breaking ball is short, but Graber with a great stop for ball 1. Boston did a good job keeping that one in front of him.
He did, and he looked like he wanted to go throw down to second, but, nobody was there, so he held on to it.
Good idea. I think that's a good rule of thumb. If there's nobody there to catch it, don't throw it. And there's a bleeder toward Jacob Ham. He's going to throw on a run, and nice play by Ham out at first. Leonard is out 5-3 for the second out. And Zach Tobin steps in. Tobin's been up. This is his 5th at bat. He's 3 for 4 with a strikeout, 3 singles. He scored a run. He's had a very active day.
Yeah, I mean, 3 for 4. Definitely somebody, handle a little bit more careful there.
Yeah, especially with first base open. So the breaking ball in the outside part gets Tobin to swing. 0-1. And Litton with a fastball on the inside part. Strike 2. So Linton is 1 strike away here, getting out of the inning. And very good. Nice play. Boston Graber makes a stop. Strike 3. And the strikeout is the 3rd inning, but the Lancers are going to score twice. They're going to take a 5-3 lead on a hit and an error and a couple walks, and we'll go to break with Lancers leading 5-3 into the bottom of the 10th.
I look right
back now. There's a pitching change for Lafayette. It'll be number 13, Michael Sen, coming in and stepping up for the War Eagles, number 6, Easton Royal. We're down by 2. You know, don't try to get all in one swing. Just
need some base runners. Need some base runners. Easton's had a hit in the first, struck out in the third. He walked in the 5th, and he was on with on an error in the 8th. I knew we couldn't stay away from lefties very much longer.
They do have a lot of them over there.
There's a lot of lefties. And Easton Royal gets hit, and I'm going to say it again. He's the only baseball player I could ever seen with my own eyes get hit twice in the same inning.
Yeah, let's see here.
So he gets hit by pitch, and he's on first base. And just what the War Eagles needed, their leadoff runner on base. So Jacob Ham steps in. And they throw that one in the right field. And that's going to end up being an extra base, but Easton Royal is going to hold up at second base as the catcher overthrew the first baseman. And that could have been another base, but I think a wise and risk-free decision to stop at second. So Easton Royal is at second base. Jacob Ham fastball in for a strike.
Good news with that is we definitely take away the double play. Even a ground ball can get Easton over to third.
Yeah, 2-1 to count on Ham. And there's a flare out to right field, which is going to be caught for the first out. That play made by Chase Rader. Ham's out. Wyatt Easley to bat. Easley's been on twice today with a fielder's choice and a base on balls. Michael Sims for the Lancers, he looks the part. Long, lanky, left-handed kid. Not sure how hard he's throwing, but the sound of the mitt sounds like he's throwing pretty hard. Wyatt's going to take that fastball for a strike. Counts 1-1. 1 out here in the bottom of the 10th. Fastball taken low.
Makes the count 2-1.
Inside part there, catches the corner.
Looking at a 2-2 count here. Wyatt seemed like he didn't agree with that strike call.
That looked a little in. I think he was a little fooled. 2-2, 1 out. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Oh, what a beautiful play. Second baseman Campbell makes a backhanded pickup and it deep in the hole, puts the brakes on and throws out Wyatt Easley at first base with a nice pickup by Nosevich. So 2 outs here in the bottom of the 10th. Jacob Lease. Easton Royal moves to third on the ground ball, but we'll need more than Easton to keep this one going.
Yeah, Jacob needs to find a way to get on and flip the lineup over and see if we can keep it going.
Fastball in there for a strike. Be very cautious over there at third with Easton. Obviously, somebody's got to score behind him for him to matter. And Lease is going to be on with a hit by pitch.
Well, that's what we needed.
There you go. And that tying run now is on first base with 2 outs. And we're back to the top of the lineup in Cooper Mann. Cooper singled in the 4th. He's walked, he stole a base, he scored a run. Struck out his last time up. And a foul ball on pitch number 1, bringing the count to 0-1. So this guy is the 5th, 1, 2, 3, 4th pitcher in for the Lancers. And that's a fastball out. James, you think this guy is their closer, or is he the last guy in?
I think he's the last guy in for the day.
Okay. He's the last guy available, or either that or he's the fireman. And the changeup looks low. So Mann is ahead in the count, 2-1. Cooper, a talented center fielder.
He's a phenomenal athlete.
And he takes fastball down and away for ball 3. Definitely a guy that could end the game.
Absolutely. Wind's blowing out. You can get something up there and hit it hard, it'll go.
Fastball taken for a strike. That's going to make the count full. And the War Eagles are down to their last strike. So Jacob Lease will be off on the pitch. Ball 4 inside, and the bases are now loaded.
And we got Joe Walker coming up to the plate. He singled his last time up, if I remember correctly.
He did. He singled.
It was right back up the middle.
Yeah, we were talking about him earlier. He had a sacrifice bunt, and then he walked. Then he got hit by a pitch. Then he grounded out to second, and then he got a signal. So right now he's 1 for 2 on the day, and he's been on base 1, 2, 3 times. And again, the pitching coach is on his way. Yeah, he did. Yeah, I just want to. He kind of gave the stay away from me. I just want to talk to my pitcher. So. So Walker in, lefty on lefty, 2 outs, bottom of the 10th, bases loaded.
And the last lefty Sin faced, he hit. Now he's standing at second base.
That's exactly right. So one way or another, Joe, let's find your way to first base.
Yeah.
And there's a ground ball at the shortstop. He's going to move it to second base, and that's going to end the game. The ground ball, fielder's choice, and that's going to end the game 5-3. Lafayette Lancers are going to take the second game of a 2-game series against the War Eagles.
But regardless, that was 2 good games over the last 2 days. Hitting just kind of struggled a little bit for us today.
Yeah, and you think of as the game rolls on, this is the 3rd game in 3 days for the War Eagles, and you get to the latter innings, extra innings, and then all of a sudden you're having to make a pressure play, and you throw one away and a couple errors and stuff. And I know when Coach Walker gets with his group down here in the dugout, they're going to feel like they gave this one away. But through the course of a season, that's what happens. So what's up next for the War Eagles, James?
Well, they take off tomorrow, head down to Gulf Shores, and we start playing Monday. We have a 1-game Monday, 1-game Tuesday, a doubleheader Wednesday. If they land in the top 4, then they'll play the semifinals and the finals on Thursday.
So, in other words, the coaching staff better get these uniforms washed.
Exactly. And these boys going to get some sleep because they got to be here early in the morning.
They got to be here early in the morning. Well, we wish them safe travels, and it's always a blessing to be able to go play other places. These guys are headed to Gulf Shores over spring break, and with the possibility of playing 6 games. So outstanding. And then they'll come back after the break on that Monday, I assume.
Yeah, on the 31st we play
31st
Southside.
And then we're back into conference play. So outstanding 2-game series here. The War Eagles win 1-0 on Friday. They lose 5-3 today. They split. Wish the Lancers safe travels back to the St. Louis area. I guess their spring break is about over.
Yep.
We're just beginning. And with that, we are grateful for you tuning in. And